Hey there. So we have covered the three key principles to the move mentality. And what we're going to do today now is move forward into the head nod, which is an original strength reset. When we press the reset button in the nervous system or in the body, this means that we're activating a system called the vestibular system. The vestibular system is these two little gyroscopes, these fluids in our ears. And when we move our eyes and our head around, think like a glass of water. When we move that glass of water around, the water moves around and stays on the horizon, but it can splash around a little bit. And there's nerves inside there that we're just stimulating. By doing this, we're actually moving that system more than most of the time throughout your lives. So when we move into doing the head nod beyond the three key principles, we actually want to move up into a tummy time position. But before she does that, I want to make sure she's breathing. Her tongue is on the roof of her mouth. She's breathing really deep and nice into her belly, resetting that perfect posture. And then what she's going to do is say, she's about maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks old. And she says, okay, look, Mom, look up. I got arms. Look at this. I can push into the floor. Look at that, right? So now she's growing up, right? We're rediscovering our original strength with this healthy move mentality of ours, okay? So by sitting up in this position, she's learned now that we have shoulder stability muscles, we have more head and posture muscles. We're actually setting a curve down here in the lower back and up in the neck. And so at a certain point, she's even going to progress farther and get her elbows way up underneath her armpits or her shoulders. We're going to pull the shoulders back and away as long, again, as this is not painful. And then I want you to point out and point in that direction. Do that about 4 or 5 times, maybe 10 times if you don't feel those muscles yet. Keep breathing. Do you feel those muscles in the back of your rotator cuff turning on?
Yeah.
Those ones are absolutely starting to stabilize the shoulders in a better posture than what we're used to all day long. Okay, so continue breathing and just hang out right there in a good, healthy parallel position. You want to be somewhere in the middle of that full range of motion. Okay, so one of the things I want you to understand when we start moving your head more is that I don't want you to take it to this full range of motion right away. Stay within about 50% of your full range of motion, and then over time start to improve. This is what we call the stability point. This is the stability range. We want to stay stable in the center of our open range of motion. So keep breathing, and then look down to the floor. Keep going, go a little farther. Good, and then look up to the sky and as far back as you can comfortably, okay? And then go ahead and look down and then look up to the sky. Some nice, deep, big belly breaths. And this is a no judgment zone. I want you to not judge yourself as well there at home because you're gonna notice certain things. Little instabilities are coming out when you're noticing little shakes in the head or in certain movements. So just be humble with yourself and have a place for your ego outside of this yoga mat right now, because I want to make sure that you're understanding how your body moves without going too far, okay? So as long as that's comfortable there, right, and then look down a little farther. So start taking it to that full range of motion all the way. You start feeling some things start to stretch, right? So you've now earned that stretching range of motion. Look up to the sky. By strengthening something, we can stretch something else, okay? That's actually how the nervous system works. In order to stretch, you have to strengthen the antagonist. That's the only way to do it, all right? So now, look straight ahead, keep breathing, and look left and right. And now we're crossing midline. So we're breathing, we're following our eyes wherever we go, and look right. Good. There you go. And then her head's following that. Go ahead, look left. And then her body's going to follow that, right? So if she keeps going, look at her arms move. Look at her body move. See that? So keep going through that range as long as it's comfortable. Really press up tall, right? Notice, right? There's a little shrinking down. And that's what happens. Your posture is just going to sink like it does all day, every day, sitting in those chairs or doing whatever you do throughout the day. So stay humble with your range of motion. Move your head a little bit more. Take big belly breaths. And turn this tummy time position into your favorite homework position or your favorite reading position or your commercial time when you're watching TV or watch 5 minutes of every Netflix movie that you watch in tummy time. This is a really, really healthy position. The last thing I want to show you is one last little trick that we all see our kids and little ones doing all day, every day, and that is to add into this movement a little kicking and screaming with your legs. So just keep breathing. You can move your head wherever you want, or you could just be watching TV. But this is where we start to turn the hamstrings on. All right. So the very beginning of activating our posture really begins in this position. So as much tummy time as you can do all day is going to be very helpful. Try to split it up. Don't do too much in a row, right? Even just this 2 or 3 minutes can get a little bit achy after a little while, okay? So if you do get a little bit achy, even after 10 seconds, I want you to drop down a little farther, right to there. You notice how your ribs are on the ground, but you still have a taller posture where you can move your entire head up and down. So go ahead and do a full head nod, which is a little different than we were doing with simply just the 3 key principles, because she still can get that flexion in her neck, okay? So play around with this position, move your head all day, every day, and take those big belly breaths and enjoy, and we will see you with the next movement.